then go home. And sometimes we can do that week after week after week. And we can forget what we're really doing and who we're really worshiping. Romans chapter 12, are you there?
Yes.
Okay. If I'm going too fast, just say, hey.
You want a mic?
Sure.
It'll help you keep from screaming. You don't sound pretty when you're screaming.
Thank you. Okay. In my pocket. Yes, sir. Verse 1. I appeal to you, therefore, brothers. Who are the brothers in the room? If you're a brother, raise your hand. Say, I'm a brother. Oh, boy. If you're a brother, say, I'm a brother.
I'm a brother.
If you're a sister, say, I'm a sister.
I'm a sister.
Okay, this is for brothers and sisters. Okay, you ready? I appeal to you, therefore, brothers and sisters, by the mercies of God, to present your bodies as a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable to God, which is your spiritual worship. Do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewal of your mind, that by testing you may discern what is the will of God, what is good and acceptable and perfect. We are called to be living sacrifices. What is a sacrifice?
To die for something you care.
You're dead, right?
Yeah.
So we're called to be living dead people. What? Living sacrifice. Hold that thought. I almost died when I was 19.
Really?
I was 19 and I went skiing. Has anyone ever been skiing? You know, on the snow?
Yeah.
On a big mountain? In the backyard. I should have stayed in the backyard. Okay, I'll be honest with you. But I was at a youth retreat, you know, youth time with a bunch of teenagers, and I was supposed to be preaching at this youth retreat 2 times. God gave me one message. And so I went there knowing one thing I was supposed to share, and that is that when we're overwhelmed with God, nothing else will overwhelm us. And after I shared that message, I went skiing the next day. At 2 in the afternoon, coming down something a lot bigger than my backyard, a guy fell in front of me, and I turned to get away from him, fell down the mountain, and went headfirst into a light pole. I fractured my neck, my head, my ribs, my collarbone. I cut my spleen, which is somewhere inside there. Punctured my lung, broke my teeth. Yeah, I think I remember. And I had a blood clot on my brain because my head was smashed in. And if you notice, I have a nice little line back there now with a nice little dent in my head. And my kids like playing with the dent. I was 19 and I almost died. They pulled my body. It took an hour for them to get up on the mountain to get me out of the hole that I was laying in. All they saw was my broken skull. They didn't know that the outside of my vertebrae was cracked as well. And so they reached down, pulled me out of the hole, took me in a helicopter to one hospital. They said, we don't have anyone that can work on him. So then they flew me to a second hospital where my parents were able to see me, gotten blood. There was a blood clot there. So they went in and they cleaned it out. And people were praying at this time. They cleaned out my skull and they told my parents, he's never going to be normal again. Okay? They said his brain is, yeah.